Okay, so that's bands and a floor mat today. So we'll start with some stretching and balance. And then we're going to go ahead and use the bands after that. So I'm going to come where you have room to move, front and back. So making sure you got room for your arms in all directions. Okay. So please, can you indicate if you can hear me okay with a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Okay, good. Okay. Thought I should check in since I'm using this different computer today. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's start a knee bend and reach up. A knee bend and reach up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Let's go side to side. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Try to the toes. So maybe separate the feet a little. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. To each side again. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And down. Let's circle the shoulders back. We're going to do a little work for the arms here. You're going to bring the hands to this goalpost position. Okay, we're going to get the feet hip width apart. Let's take a breath in. And as you exhale, add your core, this belly, seat, and urinary muscles. Another inhale, back to the goalpost. Keep those muscles involved with the core. Pull back with the elbows and forward. Pull back. We're doing a bit of an upper back workout here. And forward. And we're going to come out. And we're going to step out now into a plie. So that's toes pointed about 45 degrees out. And when we bend the knees, kind of push them toward the toes. And we're going to reach up, pull down. Reach, open the hands. Pull the elbows kind of down and back. And to reach, pull down and back. And to reach, back. Now let's bring the palms forward. Elbows back and reach forward. Elbows back and reach forward. We'll bring the arms out to the sides. A breath in. A breath out. Let the arms come down. And then knees straighten, bend, other side. And straighten and a nudge. Straighten and a nudge. Now bring back to mind your core. Seat firm. You could tap your seat, see if that's firm. Tap your belly, firm. Urinary muscles contracted. And this nudging, think of your knees straight and back. Okay. Now, do bring attention to the urinary muscles. We're going to sway down. Feel how your belly works with that. A little back and forth, breathing in and out through the nose. A little more core involvement in and out through the nose as we sway side to side. And then overhead. And all of that's changing which belly muscles and which back muscles you're working with. And we'll bring the arms down. Circle the shoulders back and kind of bring the elbows back, and let's nudge the knees again. Little break for the knees, nudge, 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 nudge. So this, very good for thigh strength and for bone density of the hips. We're gonna bring the hands up and do side bends. Again, making sure the seat's contracted, the belly is contracted, the urinary muscles are contracted, and then we're adding extra effort to the muscles of the trunk. We'll go over, bring your forearm down. See if you can settle a little more to the side. Reach out, and now the muscles work real hard to lift up, over to the other side. Forearm down, and a little more reach. And then we want to make the muscles work a little harder, reach out, and to lift up. And then let's step back together. Open and close. Big backward arm circle. Little kick and kick. So feeling that, relax your hips and relax your knees. Okay. Now I want to work on some focus and control with lunges. And the focus is on kind of strength and smooth movement with coordination. So stand next to your chair, like my toe is just behind the back leg of the chair there. Because I'm going to do some side lunging, but forward lunging that you really might need your chair for, with a finger or two. But let's practice first. This is going to be the leg that moves. We're going to stand on this other leg. But as we do this, use your ankle flexion to kind of push off with your toes and get a knee lift. Keep your heart lifted. Keep the ribs prominent in the front. And from there, one of these times, we want to do that push up and a step forward. We'll do a nudge, nudge. To go back, we want to get that same feeling in the foot where you use the ankle to kind of push off. Controlled back to the center. Let's do that same action in the foot to get the lift. The front, bend both knees, and then we want to do that help at the ankle, by the ankle rapidly pointing. Let's push up and out, push up and back. One more time, up and out and up and back. So working on the balance there. Let's try to the side, a little easier. I'm going to go behind the chair. So you have something to hold on to. So we'll try that little bit of a push by pointing at the ankle. And then we want to try that lift with control to the side. And then that same movement to lift you back to the center, pause, and down. So working on that coordinated movement, that side lunge. So body is shifted, so you're all over this hip, all your weight. I'm going to give a push with my toe, a pause, and down. Push off with my toe again, out, push off with my toe, a pause, and down. Push, lunge, push, a pause, and then I'm going to go to the other side with that. So the chair's there. Now let's practice a bit. So the knee is free, so you're far enough to the side of the chair where you can push up. So I'm pointing my toe, getting that lift till it feels controlled. point, and point. And I'm going to go to the side. Side, where I shift my weight, flat back, chest forward. Now push with that toe, a pause, and down. A pause, and over, a pause, down, push over off of the toe, and center, a push, step, a push, and down. Okay, let's take a breath in. Squeeze your core, a breath out. And one more, a breath in. With the exhale, reinforce seat, belly, and urinary muscles. And then we're going to try our knee lift, that controlled knee lift, where you point your toe, and then we're going to lift, pause, and step to a forward lunge. So pause, forward lunge. We'll do a nudge, nudge, and then off of the front toe, try, pause, and down. So I'm right here by the side of my chair, my toe, where I can kick the back of the chair right there, the back leg, push, and then push, pause, and down. Push up, step, nudge, nudge, a push, pause, and down. Working on that coordination and control. Being patient, knowing it gets better with practice. Push it down. Okay, separate the feet a bit. Let's take a breath to the toes. And out. And up. And out. And then making sure you have room in front of you, so you may have to move your chair. We're going to try with the flat back, bending at the hips, bend your knees a little if you need to. But if you're quite flexible, you could keep your knees straight. We want to keep a flat back as we come down. Pull in the belly, pull in your urinary muscles, and we're going to do a windmill movement. If you can, bend your knees a little and touch your big toe. And to turn and touch your big toe. Trying to keep the back straight and just doing a rotation movement like a windmill. Touch and touch. Okay, and then we'll go back up, contract your belly, contract the urinary muscles, and we'll lift, and a breath in, and a breath out. And let's relax the neck a little, feet hip width apart. Stick the seat out, flat back here, wide shoulders. Okay, we're going to curl and tuck the chin. So curl the back, tuck the chin, let your neck stretch. And then stick the tail out, look forward gently. But flat back, and then a curl back, flat back, gaze forward, curl back, really tucking the chin to stretch the neck. And then looking forward with that flat back, pull in your belly, pull in the urinary muscles, and we'll come up and down. Circle back, and we're gonna go ahead and get our bands. So this is, you can do these exercises without a band, and sometimes if you have a shoulder problem, it's best to go without the band and do the exercises. Okay, now we'll add some bone density for the hips to go with this. So we're gonna do our toes out, knees out like we were doing before. And we'll nudge the knees a little, settling into this position where the toes are out about 45 degrees and we're pushing the tips of the knees so they kind of go in the direction of the toes. Okay, we're going to bring the band to the front. And you're going to look, so my goal is my shoulders are over my hips, my belly is in, so I'm not arching, tucking my hips under, using my belly. So I'm always thinking of this posture. Okay, let's bring the hands forward a little more than shoulder width apart. We're going to pull back, a little more upper back work and cross. I'm going to settle into my plie as I feel able to a little more. We're a little more work on hip bone density while the band is working on bone density of the fingers and the wrists. You get that upper back muscle workout. Okay, now I'm going to step my feet back together. Give a little shake. I feel with that, I feel like my seat muscles have really worked hard. Let's go ahead now. We want to come where if your foot, if you kicked sideways, you would be touching the front leg of your chair. And we're going to put the band under the front leg, front foot, right under the arch of that foot. Make sure you have room behind you because we're going to do a back lunge. We've kind of neglected the biceps for about a week. So we're going to work on biceps here. So the back lunge, so your free foot, you're going to step back to the ball of the foot. And then check in, both toes forward. Often that's a little adjustment in the back foot. Shoulders back over the hips. Add your core, belly, seat, and urinary muscles. Okay. And then we'll do a thumb to the shoulder. Keep your elbow wedged in at the side of your trunk. And as you do this, don't let your body move forward to meet your band. Keep your shoulders up so it's all arm movement to bring that thumb up toward the shoulder. Okay. Let's step forward again. Circle the shoulders back. We'll settle into that position where the ribs are forward, the heart is open, and let's same foot back to the ball of the foot. We'll do a few nudges. Show the toes forward, add your core, and we might try both arms at once. Do a little more force into the leg and hip muscles. Okay, let's step forward. And we'll go back one more time. We're going to bend the elbows to 90 degrees. We're going to do a little twist and a twist. And try shifting your gaze. Now you could always reach out to your chair if you need to. And a twist. And I'm going to step forward. Okay, I'm going to switch to my other foot. And this time, I'm going to come closer to the ends of the band. I want a little more rope there. I'm going to step back. Then I have my free foot is over here. I'm going to come back on the ball of the foot. Check. I can still reach my chair if I need it there. And I check. Shoulders up, back over the hips. Ribs prominent here. Toes forward. Squeeze all those core muscles. Okay. And now I'm going to take one hand. I'm going to go up and up and down and down. So quite a bit of effort going overhead. So if it doesn't work for you, just don't go all the way. You can do a little bit, or maybe all the way up. up, and then step forward. Okay, let's step back again to the ball of the foot, toes forward, alignment with ribs prominent and core, seat, urinary, belly all contracted. Okay, and we're going to bend the elbows. And this time we'll do a little bit of a punch with our twist. Punch. Punch. This is great for balance if you shift your gaze. Punch. And a punch. Okay, we'll step forward. We'll take that out. So, this combination of the band and then lunging really works on the bone density of the hips and all that grip and movement with the hands. It's very good for the bone density of the wrist and the fingers. Okay, let's take the band under both feet. Stand and separate my feet about hip width apart. And I'm going to do a slight squat. So we'll look kind of like this. So no curving of the back, but straight back, some arch in the back. So the seat goes back and the chest goes forward. And I pull one elbow back and then the other elbow back. I'm going to now take a moment as I'm doing the seesaw movement, contract my belly, urinary muscles, and seat. So just to firm up the core. And remind your core they're supposed to be working almost all the time. Okay, and then I'm going to straighten up by pushing my hips forward. And then I want to be behind my chair. And I'm going to do some sideways walking. And you feel that a lot in the lead hip. Let's go back the other way. But also the trailing hip, you want to release slowly. So that hip works also. We'll go back and forth again. And I'm making sure my ribs are staying prominent out front. I'm going back and forth. Okay, and I'm going to come out. And I'm going to go to a side lunge. So we had a chance to do some side lunges earlier, and those can all be done behind your chair. Moving my chair so you can see me better. We're going to bring the band to the waist. We'll start with that side lunge, which is that controlled lift. Out to the side, shift your weight over, add your core, and then it's like just a tip at the hips. Okay, we're going to straighten one arm, the middle arm, you might call it. Twist, look back to the front, and down, and then with control back to the center. So push off with the toe and down. So the other side. Over, push, I got that flat back and twist. Forward to the waist. I'm going to push off with this toe. Control. Push. Step. Hinge. Look back. Push. Lift. Push forward and turn. Front. In, and then that push, a little control, and down. Nice work on that. Nice work. Just a great total back strengthener with that. And then some balance work because you're shifting your gaze. Okay, let's fold the rope in half. And we'll finish up with some combo, stretch and strengthen. So overhead. And we'll lean to one side and lean to the other side. Squeeze your seat, Squeeze your belly, pull up the urinary muscles, breathe in and out through your nose. And then just drop it to the front, and we're going to twist the whole body. Look back. So even your ankles are twisting. And twist. And twist. Okay, and then we're going to set our band aside. And let's go ahead for impact. So we've been standing quite a while. So if you're tired, you can even do your impact seated. A lot of the movements are similar, separating the legs back together, double impacts. It's very similar. So let's first start with a deep breath. Circle the shoulders back, making sure you have plenty of oxygen in your system. Okay. Try to get our 100 to 150.
Lost your sound, Lisa.
Did someone say something? I thought I heard something. Anyway, okay. Here we go.
We're not hearing you.
Okay. Nicely done. Okay, we're gonna now come to the chairs. If you're not already in a chair.
The sound was totally gone during that, but we
Oh,
followed. it just
okay.
fine.
Yeah, we could hear you at the beginning, but no music, and then eventually neither you nor the music.
I'm seeing this thing pop up. I'll have to look at that again later. Something about that. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. Can you hear me now without the music on? Okay, good. Right, let's go ahead and get in front of the chair. Feet hip width apart to start with. Okay, circle back and then settle your shoulders back. Make sure your ribs are prominent here, and as you stick your seat out, see if you can get that feeling that your heart is facing forward and your ribs are still able to shift forward. Let's touch the chair. Let's just slowly go down then. And let's come back up. Let's change the feet. Let's put the feet close together. And we'll come down, touch, and slowly down. And you might feel, oh, that's a little easier. That's because the knees are doing, these knees touching are doing some of the work of the hip muscles. Let's come up. Okay, we'll remove that by stepping forward a little with one foot. So your heel is about at the ball of the foot. For the forward foot, the heel of that forward foot is about at the ball of the other foot. So now we're trying to challenge balance and coordination. So check your chairs where you think it is. You need to adjust your chair, go ahead and do that. So it's really centered behind you. You feel confident you'll land on your chair. Stick the seat out, touch your chair if you need to, and we're gonna go down and then up. So we're changing the dynamics, changing the coordination. Makes you feel maybe a little shaky. Let's step that one foot back, put the other heel forward a little at the ball of the foot. Check your chair, that you're centered and you're very close to it. Seat out and slowly down. So now your knees don't touch now. One knee is behind the other. And that's what gets a little easier with practice. Okay, now what we want to do is we're thinking of crossing the front foot slightly over. Just brought that foot slightly over so the heel is at the toe, but I've crossed it in front of the other foot. And then I'm going to bend the knees, touch the chair, try to keep my back flat, and slowly down and up. And one more time, that seat back and down and up. And then I'm going to switch it. So I'm going to uncross. Bring that one foot there. Other foot, heel comes around to the outside of that other foot. Check your chair right behind you. And then seat out and down and up and slowly down and up and slowly down. Nice. So just good way to work on the dynamics of the squatting, use the muscles a little differently and a little more focused on balance. Let's go ahead and take our shoes off. And for just a minute, scooch back in your chair and lean back. Okay, we're gonna swing in the knees, thinking of getting full extension of the knees. So the knees getting fully straight as you swing out. And then we'll swing them out and hold. And here's where we're going to be sure to add your belly, seat, and urinary muscles. So you've got all of those contracted. And we're gonna point and flex in the ankles, working on full movement of the feet. All the while keeping that belly flex. You're leaning back so you could feel your ribs here kind of sticking forward. Heart is lifted. Breathing in and out through the nose. And then we'll do heel, toe, heel, toe. You can feel this. Is good for a good seat contraction. Those hip muscles, your seat muscles are actually hip muscles. They control your hip movement. And then we'll swing again, thinking of the knee. We're going to leave those up and add your core again. Okay, and we're going to do flutter kick, point your toes, flex the ankle, point your toes, and flex, and bring that down. We'll swing for the last time. So think of this as a way to make your knees feel good. I just slide them back under my chair, kick them out. And then bring the feet down, and we're going to scoot forward toward the front edge of the chair. We'll come up on the ball of one foot, reach back, and we're going to stretch out and in, really stretching in the hip, especially that going out. So think of these muscles relaxing to allow you to get external rotation of the hip. And we'll go to the other side. So I'm going on the ball of this foot. I'm making sure my back is straight. Getting that stretch and mobility, sliding and gliding right in the hip joint. Should feel good. Okay, and then we'll separate the feet and we're going to stretch the back. Let your hands drop, kind of pull back a little to widen the shoulders. Hinge at your hip, lean forward. Feel that stretch in your hips and your back. And then go ahead, tuck your chin, pull in your belly, curl up, and unroll. And again, leaning, and curl, and unroll. Okay, let's go ahead, come pretty close to the front of your chair. We're going to do a vigorous workout for the belly muscles. So we'll bring the hands, they cross on your upper chest, straighten the back so that if you were touching your ribs, you could feel your ribs are pushing forward. Contract your urinary muscles and your seat muscles. And with all of that contracting, keep a straight back, and we'll slowly lean back and lift from the back of the chair. Slightly forward of midpoint and then back. So keeping all of those core muscles contract as you do this gives you a lot of strength and control for smooth movement here. This time we're going to go back and stay back. Okay. We're going to now hold on to the chair and straighten both legs. So my heels are on the ground. I'm thinking to myself as a straight line. So I have to kind of contract my back and lift the ribs forward, but I want my neck to relax. So I let my chin droop a little. Okay, and then I'm going to use the belly breath to lift both legs. So I breathe in through the nose, let my belly expand, and then compress the belly. Breathe out and lift about 4 inches. And in this position, I'm going to do that scissors movement. And I'm letting my neck relax. I can even waggle my head to make sure my neck stays relaxed, but I'm really using belly, back, hip pretty strongly, and then we'll lower thigh also. Another belly breath in through the nose. Let your belly expand, compress the belly out through the mouth. A lift. Okay, and we're gonna do a little out and in to get more of the hip muscles. I'm gonna relax my neck. Little neck movement and make sure those muscles stay relaxed. And out, and in, and down. I'm gonna bend both knees. I'm gonna practice a kick up. Over this, watch the first time. Knee lift, straight, kick. And then straight back, going down. So this is much like in bed, you might do to sit up in your bed. Maybe kick down. Get your whole body to come forward. Back. So here we go. Lift, straighten, a kick. Cross the arms, lean back. A lift, straighten, a kick. Very good. Okay. Lean back. We're gonna separate the knees, and now we're gonna do a twist. And as you twist, use your muscles to pull this one hip off your chair. Back to the center. Twist, and one hip comes up, and it's not far, just barely off the chair. And a twist. Twist. Okay. And then let's go ahead, scooch back a little on the chair so you don't slip off, because you want to do a dive to the floor. So breath in, and then a dive. And let yourself dangle, stretch, relax. Let your head dangle, especially in your arms. And walk your hands forward. Walk your hands up. Imaginary ladder. Down. Let's open and close. Stretching up. Big backward arm circle. As with that open and close. Okay. Right, I'm just 1 moment. Let me see if okay, before we get down on the floor, I wanted to do a sequence of movements. And I think I'll just do it without music because I want you to be able to hear either me or the music. So the purpose of this is to do some coordinated, faster moving movements where you have to follow with strength and coordination, trying to use all of our core muscles. So let's go ahead. I'm sitting halfway forward in the chair. I'm going to circle each shoulder back. This is for the neck and the shoulders, both strengthening and relaxing. Okay, but also that backward shoulder circle kind of sets the shoulder back and it's perfect alignment. And we'll do a deep breath, one arm. And then I'm going to a core exercise. I'm going to bring the hands up and then I'm going to cross them the other way. Just because it's a little difference. This is a point where you've got now belly, urinary, and seat muscles tightened. And then we're going to do a twist side to side. And your head is just sitting on top of your shoulders. Your head is not leading the movement, but just going with it. And we're focused really on the belly and the back. And the urinary muscles staying tight as we work on strengthening these muscles that twist the trunk. So these are real important in strong movement, these twisting muscles like this. And now we'll stretch those muscles. We'll just bring the arms up. Check in with your urinary muscles. They're nice and firm. We're going to straighten one arm, and it's kind of a fling to the back. And watch your fingers this time. Back to the front. And a fling and the front. So that stretch of those muscles. Fling back, and then we're going to bring the hands down. We're going to straighten one leg. A 1 foot flat, one leg straight. And I've reached back to help bring these ribs forward, but I've got to really use my belly so I don't arch my back. Work on some hip strengthening. And out to the side and in. Just one more. Out and in, and we'll switch. Straight, lift the heart, ribs prominent to the front. That slow, controlled movement in and out. And then I'm going to my hands here. So as I do that, I'm keeping that very straight back. I'm pulling in my stomach muscles, contracting my seat and urinary muscles a little. And we're going to do foot coordination, toes, heels, toes, heels, heels, toes, heels, squeeze, heels, toes, heels, heels, toes, heels, squeeze. 2 more times. So just practice to get the smooth, coordinated movement with that. Heels, heels, toes, heels, squeeze. Okay, some upper body. Hips forward, pedal in the wrist. Scooch back. Your chair, and we'll do a little breaststroke. So this breaststroke is a great warm-up because the pull back stretches your upper chest and strengthens the upper back. A very good move, even as a swimming stroke, very good for posture. And we'll come to the sides and we're going to lean and touch, reach up. Other side, touch, reach up, touch, reach up, and a touch, reach up. Bring that down. Okay, and then let's scooch halfway forward to the chair. And let's do some breaths with leg movement. So it would be a breath in and out. All the while, I'm thinking of straight back. Okay, and then little back relaxation. Let's separate the legs. Let's hug on each side. That lean, hug. Arms wide and a lift. And a lean, hug. Arms wide. Okay. All right, we're ready to go on the floor. So you want to get your mat, put it in front of your chair. And you can, many of these exercises could also be done seated if you're not going on the floor today. I encourage you, because we're gonna also use the bands while we're on the floor, so you can have some things to do if you're in a chair. my band there. Here's that. That's good. Okay, so we are going to work on stretching. So you may know that if you just stay where you are, that if you have trouble sitting on the floor with your legs straight, get a cushion to put under your seat. This is so you can actually get a stretch of your hamstrings that's not painful. So you need to be able to relax into the stretch. So get a cushion for your seat if you know that that's a problem for you, or like a folded blanket or a folded towel, something like that. Okay, so to get on the floor, let's try. You can do it however works for you. If you you might try a side lunge, which will put your chairs in front of the mat. So one alternative is a side lunge, and then a reach to the floor. And then from here, once you get your hands down, go ahead and lower your seat. A nice way, like if you're sitting on the floor with grandchildren or family, to get up and down. Another way is you could hold onto your chair and do that knee to the floor like that. So whichever way you want to do it, I'm going to just go ahead and do the side lunge, which is that side lunge like we always do, and then reach to the floor. And then bring my hands hip down. Okay. And then if you, this is where you would use a cushion or a towel or a blanket under your seat if you happen to be tight in the back of your legs. Some people are just that way from day one, and they just really do need that. Okay, so we're gonna sit, we're gonna bend one knee, and so my foot ends up against that calf or that knee. I'm gonna slide my seat flesh back a little, so I'm more sitting on the points, the bones that are in the seat. And I'm gonna bring this over the arch of my foot. So this is so I don't have to struggle to reach my toes or anything, but here I can inch my hands up, and I try to keep my back mostly flat, hinge at the hips, and then I'll bend my elbows, and I'll just give a gentle pull. I'll take a breath in, a breath out, and a gentle pull. I keep the knee straight, and I'm working on getting gentle stretching in the hamstrings. I'm going to hold it. Breathe in and out through the nose. A breath in, a breath out. Maybe fold a little further. So it's to get comfortable stretch. Okay, and I'm going to come up. I'm going to switch feet. So I bring this one foot up. So if you're in a chair seated, you could be on the edge of your front edge of your chair, stick your leg out so your heel's on the ground, and you put the band under the arch of your foot and get the same effect. Now I'm inching my fingers up, bending my elbow. I need to get square so my seat stays on the ground, both sides of the seat. I'm going to bend the elbows, hinge at the hip mostly. A breath in through the nose, out through the nose. hinge a little further, knee straight, belly in, urinary muscles contracting. I'm going to inch forward a little more. I just was born flexible. And just hold that. Maybe flex a little more, breathing in and out through the nose. Don't forget your urinary muscles. Okay. And then coming out. Right. Now, I'm going to turn sideways, so now slip. And I'm going to start with a seat maneuver for back and seat strength. So I'm going to bend my knees, feet flat. I'm reaching back. And you see how my hands, my fingertips are pointing. I'm going to lift my seat. Now, if that's too much for your wrist, you could go on your fist. Then your wrist is straight. And so it just depends on what you need for yourself. You could also cup your hand if you have a lot of hand strength, like this. So what we want to do is contract the seat and then push the belly button toward the ceiling. And we'll slowly come down. And kind of start with the straight back, contract your seat, and push up. And slowly down. And then just one more time, that contract and push and down. Let's go ahead and lay on the side. So we're gonna work on the side, work on the back a little more also before we're done. So if we're laying on the side, we're gonna do the side plank. That both knees are bent, and then you pull back a little. So your knees are more in line with your body. So you're kind of a flat line here. Okay. I'm going to put one hand in front. I'm going to lift my ribs. You can see how they naturally, I'm going to curve that way, but I'm going to keep my ribs lifted, and then I'm going to lift my hips. And bring an arm up, and then bring my fingertips to my ear. And then I'm going to lift that top knee, touch my elbow, and then reach. And to touch, and to reach, touch, and reach. I'm going to do a fourth one if you're able to. I'm going to touch and reach. And then I'm going to come back and lower my hip. Say that doesn't work for you. You could lay down and you could do that reach, touch, and a reach, touch, laying down also, and get this side of the body working. Let's go to the other side. Push up and swivel around, and we'll go to the other side. So you may have one side where your shoulder doesn't allow this much weight, your upper body to be supported. So then just go ahead and lay down and do it, from the laying down position. Okay, both knees are bent, and I've kind of made myself flat. So my hips are not bent now. Okay, and if you're up on your elbow, right under the shoulder. No, you don't want a weird angle like this. It would be very hard on the shoulder. Elbow right under your shoulder. We can use this hand to help. I gotta lift my rib cage, then I lift my hip. I'll bring this hand up. I'm gonna touch my ear, and then that's knee and reach, and a knee and reach. So you're even laying down, you can do this too. And reach. So working on spinal stability and down. Okay, from here, we're going to go lay on the belly and do another exercise for the back to finish up. So for this, we're going to have some support. I'm thinking if you're not on the floor, if you stand behind your chair, you can do some rear leg lifts. So backward leg lifts, we get the same muscles. We're gonna bring the hands closer, kind of like a push-up position, but then go ahead and lay your head down. And what we wanna do is float the face off of the mat, so your nose toward the mat. And then with the legs, do a little flutter kick. So let's try that. So we can start laying down, turn and look at your mat, just float your face slightly off the mat. And then a flutter kick with the legs. Keep your chin kind of tucked. So you don't want to tighten the neck muscles too much. Relax, maybe turn the other way for your head. A little lift of the head, float it off of the mat, or you could put your forehead on the mat if you need to. And then a flutter kick, tight seat. Okay, relax. Well, let's go ahead, let's push up to hands and knees. Okay, and we'll get where you're on, so your toes are on your mat. Bring your chair nearby. If you need it, especially the seat of the chair. And get up however is best for you. But one way we might try, if you're pretty flexible on that, is tucking the toes. Tuck, tuck. Hands right under the shoulders. And then lifting the seat toward the ceiling, straighten your knees, and walk your hands toward your feet. And then unroll to come up. All right, and let's go ahead and do our 5 deep, vigorous breaths to finish class. So making sure you have plenty of space, feet hip width apart. Start with some contraction in those 3 core areas, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Palms forward, pull back a little. And circle back, do relax the neck. I think 2 of the exercises we did on the floor, it'd be easy to feel a little tenseness in your neck. Okay, let me stop that.